2022 has been a brutal year for cryptocurrency, fueled by financial losses, a public perception crisis, and a fraud scandal.
This story has truly made my head explode.
One of the most powerful people in the cryptocurrency industry.
A multi-billion-dollar fraud.
This could be one of the biggest frauds in history.
This company was on top of the world.
$32 billion bankruptcy.
One of the largest exchanges in the world, FTX, collapses.
In the span of about 1 week, Sam Bankman-Fried went from a billionaire
to criminal suspect.
Sam Bankman-Fried
arrested in the Bahamas.
Samuel Bankman-Fried is now in FBI custody.
Pretty quick arrest.
Who once ran one of the world's largest cryptocurrency exchanges, FTX, has been found guilty of fraud and money laundering.
Crypto exchange co-founder Sam Bankman-Fried is now heading to jail immediately.
Bankman-Fried was the mastermind behind the crimes that led to the company's downfall.
FTX filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy today.
The quirky king of crypto is behind bars today.
Arrested overnight in the Bahamas, charged this morning by the SEC.
A massive, years-long scheme to defraud investors.
Sophisticated investors, not so much sophisticated investors, celebrities to believe in him.
Promoted by A-list celebs, including Larry David, Shaquille O'Neal, Steph Curry, Gisele Bündchen, and Tom Brady.
A bunch of kids living in a Bahamas penthouse, spending gazillions of dollars that didn't actually really exist.
He used that money for his personal benefit.
His $32 billion cryptocurrency exchange, FTX, goes bankrupt in a matter of days.
Should have been on top of this, sent those dollars from its FTX account to the user.
I put about 9.7 million into crypto.
You know, for many people, this has meant really that they are left in a very desperate situation.
But how it's affected millions of people globally.
Lost over $2 million on the FTX.
Alameda was making lots of money.
$8.9 billion in customer funds are missing.
Know of FTX deposits being used to pay off Alameda creditors.
So many people wondering where their money is.
A lot of things that are worrying me right now.
Every one of those entities had some financial problem or another.
It was probably one of the most scariest times.
The time I spent with Sam, the smarter I felt that he was.
My goal is to be able to donate. I did not know that there's any improper use of customer funds or something. I'll, end up using on myself.
Just need FTX.
I don't know of a violation of the terms of use. I don't know every line of the terms of use. I can't confidently say there wasn't.
Now, who else is going to be giving evidence?
Caroline Ellison.
And one of the key people is Caroline Ellison.
The District of New York has filed charges against Caroline Ellison, the former CEO of Alameda Research, and Gary Wang, a co-founder of FTX.
Caroline Ellison has taken the stand.
Caroline Ellison reported to Sam Bankman-Fried at work and lived with him and directed her to commit financial fraud.
Deeply sorry about what happened.
There were clearly glaring red flags.
It's FTX. It's a safe and easy way to get into crypto.
Sam did was old-fashioned financial fraud.
Yeah, I don't think so.
In the world of law, where every word matters, an incredible testimony has changed the course of the ongoing saga, the FTX exchange collapse. Sam Bankman-Fried, the mastermind behind the FTX exchange, is in the midst of a courtroom battle, facing allegations of fraud, money laundering, and market manipulation. But what's truly mind-blowing is the surprising testimony from an unexpected source, SBF's ex-girlfriend, Caroline Ellison. Her testimony is so shocking that they could potentially put SBF behind bars for 110 years or even life. Caroline Ellison has
taken the stand at the trial of Sam Bankman-Fried.
Previously ran FTX's sister hedge fund, Alameda Research. Now, she pleaded guilty to several charges as part of her plea deal and is cooperating with the prosecution. 28-year-old testified that Bankman-Fried directed a $100 million bribe to Chinese officials.
Bankman-Fried, quote, directed us to take customer money to pay loans.
Did you commit financial crimes? She said that Sam directed me to commit these crimes.
Well, who is she? And what's her role in the ongoing FTX story? Caroline Ellison was born in November 1994 in Boston, Massachusetts, USA. She did great in school. When she was 18, she got a scholarship to go to Stanford University, where she completed her math degree in 2016. Following her college education, she completed 2 internships at Jane Street. She did so well in her internships there, they hired her after she graduated. It was at Jane Street Capital where Caroline crossed paths with Sam Bankman-Fried. Sam had already worked for several years at Jane Street's New York before quitting in 2017 to establish his own trading and investment firm, Alameda Research. The next year, Caroline met Sam and was impressed by his ideas, so she decided to join his new project. Her real interest was in making money as the interest in cryptocurrencies grew. Sam saw the growing interest in it too, so he started FTX, a cryptocurrency exchange, in 2019. FTX did really well during the crypto boom in 2020, with the industry being worth $3 trillion. In 2021, after 3 years at Alameda Research, Caroline became co-CEO with Sam Trabucco. Later in January 2022, FTX's value reached $32 billion, but by November 2022, everything changed. A CoinDesk article in November 2022 revealed the misdirection of customer funds to Alameda Research. It was found that Alameda Research had borrowed an astounding $13 billion from FTX customers by September 2022. Further, FTX's leaked balance sheet indicated $9 billion in debts, $900 million in assets, and misleading entries resulting in a negative $8 billion balance. Alameda freely borrowed from FTX, mainly from customer deposits. Authorities further arrested Bankman-Fried, Caroline Ellison, Gary Wang, and Nishid Singh for multiple fraud charges with FTX. Last year in December, Ms. Ellison pleaded guilty to fraud and conspiracy.
Has filed charges against Caroline Ellison, the former CEO of Alameda Research, and Gary Wang, a co-founder of FTX, in connection with their roles in the frauds that contributed to FTX's collapse. Both Ms. Ellison and Mr. Wang have pled guilty to those charges, and they are both cooperating with the Southern District of New York.
In Mr. Bankman-Fried's fraud trial on the 10th of October 2023, Caroline Ellison testified for about 4 hours. Her testimony began with a questioning to identify SBF. Ms. Ellison took more than 10 seconds to identify Mr. Bankman-Fried when a prosecutor asked her to point him out. Within the first 15 minutes, she began blaming Mr. Bankman-Fried for the crimes that led to FTX's downfall. She testified that he instructed her to use FTX customer deposits for Alameda Research's investments and loans. Alameda took around $14 billion from FTX customers, only repaying some of it. In her testimony, Ellison provided a list of things Sam is freaking out about. Among the items on this list was buying Snap, the parent company of Snapchat. Also, she mentioned that SBF was planning to raise funds from MBS, from the Saudi Arabia Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, and to trade Japanese government bonds. Ellison also added to the list getting regulators to crack down on Binance. Bankman-Fried and Binance CEO Changpeng Zhao had a long public rivalry, with Binance accusing the former FTX CEO of spreading rumors ahead of FTX collapse.
It was pretty clear pretty soon that there's misappropriation of user funds. The user funds are gone. At that point, it's clearly that he lied to his users, his investors, his VC investors, his employees. At that point, I thought I couldn't, whatever data that's in the data room, we couldn't trust anymore.
When asked about the character of SBF, she described Mr. Bankman-Fried as ambitious, envisioning himself as a leader in major corporations and politics. According to her, he even aspired to become the US president with a 5% chance of success. On the second day of her testimony, Ellison said, SBF told me to come up with alternative ways to present Alameda's balance sheet information. He wanted me to hide things on our balance sheet, so I prepared 7 different balance sheets. I did not want to be dishonest, but I presented the alternatives to Sam and let him decide. Of the 7 alternatives, Bankman-Fried chose to present the version that did not disclose the $9.9 billion owed to FTX customers, with the goal of making Alameda look less risky. She also claimed that Mr. Bankman-Fried directed her to keep selling Bitcoin if its price went over $20,000. He even instructed her to transfer $500 million from FTX to Genesis, despite doubts about the transaction's honesty. Further, when asked about the release of the $1 billion funds locked up in China and how they were accessed, Ellison revealed that Alameda had paid a $150 million bribe to Chinese government officials to facilitate the release. Lastly, Ellison described moments of emotional breakdown. She confessed that it was the worst week of my life, but strangely the happiest I've been in a year. She expressed immense relief as the moment she had awaited had finally arrived. She mentioned that she didn't have to lie anymore, although she still felt very sorry for the people they had let down. Ellison was terminated from her position after FTX and Alameda filed for bankruptcy. In December 2022, she admitted to wrongdoing. She pleaded guilty to charges like wire fraud, securities fraud, and money laundering conspiracy. As part of her agreement, she promised to repay an amount set by the court and to become a star witness in the FTX case. Meanwhile, the fate of SBF.
We got some breaking news out of another Manhattan courtroom.
Sam Bankman-Fried perpetrated one of the biggest financial frauds in American history, a multi-billion-dollar scheme designed to make him the king of crypto.
A jury found former cryptocurrency mogul Sam Bankman-Fried guilty on all 7 counts against him.
But here's the thing. The cryptocurrency industry might be new. The players like Sam Bankman-Fried might be new. This kind of fraud, this kind of corruption is as old as time.
And now the FTX founder faces a maximum sentence of 115 years in prison.